Hey guys, what's grackalackin? It's ROOTheognis here. This is going to be one of my first tutorials that I've released to the public. It's going to be a short one today. I'm not sure if it's going to be a regular thing of mine, but basically it's going to depend mostly on like my schedule and like the feedback and like what you guys think. So definitely let me know after this. But today's tutorial is going to be about the CatZ hatchery block at the natural against the command center first on the high ground. This was popularized by CatZ on Artos's show like a few weeks ago. And this is just gonna be like my response to it, like if someone did it to me, like what would I do? What's my thought process behind it, and why am I making the decisions that I do? Some people like they just like cancel the gas and go like 5 barracks or something like that. Yeah, I guess you could do that if you scout it fast enough, but this is basically just if you open 14 command centers, 16 barracks, 17 gas, which is pretty standard. So let me just open up the replay real quick so I can just kind of go over it real quick. Let's watch this one first. And yeah, a lot of people have been telling me that they've been kind of struggling against this. It's actually a pretty strong strategy. You're definitely going to lose to it the first time you play against it, because it's like the responses I do to this strategy it's pretty narrow. It's pretty thin and pretty specific, so if you don't know exactly what to do against it, like you could definitely fall behind very early. So basically what the Zerg does is they do a really quick drone scout, and then once they see the command center on the high ground, they'll just make a hatchery at your natural. So basically it's hatch, pull, and then they can continue with some spine crawlers, and then the scariest part about this is just laying the creep tumors, because then it'll just stall your expansion out forever. So that's the main thing you kind of have to worry about against this build. Yeah, I'll just speed it up a little bit. So yeah, he scouts my command center, and then he just builds on the low ground and he goes pull. And so for this I actually don't scout it until my first marine pops out, so we're not going to cancel the gas and go like 5 barracks or anything like that. So yeah, basically I see it here once my first marine pops out, and then what you really need to do is build the bunker as close as possible to the hatchery. This is actually really important. Ideally you want the bunker actually hugging the hatchery, and the reason for this is because once the queen pops out you can actually snipe the creep tumor. But since mine's actually kind of far away, he actually gets it down here, so he actually gets a few extra tumors out there. So that's not ideal. So there's actually no way for me to stop this, so I just salvage it before I lose all my marines. And yeah, so he basically this is pretty standard now. You just get the spine crawlers up, some lings. Some people drone a little bit harder instead of making this many lings, but I think he was just scared of the bunker. Yeah, let me just rewind a little bit and just kind of show you exactly what I do. So the whole point of this bunker is just to snipe that first creep tumor, but behind the scenes you're actually just going up to factory, and you want to grab your second gas once you scout this hatchery. And the reason for this is because we're going to rush out a tank. So factory, second gas. We're going to rush out the quickest tank possible. I've tried a lot of different things against this. I went like 2 extra barracks and went Marine Marauder with like stem before. It's not the greatest, because if they scout you not going a factory, they can just keep on building spine crawlers, and then you can just get stuck up your ramp. If you go Hellions, yeah, I guess you could run by, but if they have queens back at home, then you can't really do too much with that, and you're still not going to get an expansion. And that kind of goes the same if you go for like a Hellbat drop or Cloak Banshee. Like, yeah, you could do some damage, but you're not going to win the game straight out, and you're never going to get your expansion up. So even if you do a lot of damage, you can't really do anything because you're going to still be on one base. So from here, I'm actually just going to tech up to a tank real quick. And that's basically just to break the contain. But the thing is, I'm only going to make 1 tank. I'm going to follow this up with a starport, and then we're going to switch the starport onto the tech lab to get a Raven out. And that's the key to this entire counter build to the counter build of his is you really need the Raven, or else you're gonna have to drop too many scans to get rid of the creep. You know, I've played it before where I don't get this Raven out, and they get like 5 or 6 tumors out here, and sometimes they even get to my third. And you know, you don't want to spend like 5 scans that early on, like 6 minutes into the game, because yeah, even if you break out and you're ahead in SCVs, like you're just gonna, you know, that could be like 5 meals that you spent. So yeah, so he's just gonna pressure with this and just get my tank out. And yeah, we're just gonna still go for a triple command. The triple command is very necessary, so that's pretty standard. Yeah, just go for a Raven. So yeah, we're just gonna slowly push out, get the Raven, and then follow this up with just normal like reactor Hellion play. So from here it kind of normalizes once I start clearing out the creep. It does take a little while. It's actually not this. Usually they don't get this many tumors out if you can snipe that first one, but since my bunker was a little bit far away, he got that first tumor down, so he gets like 2 extra tumors out just because of that, so it is a little bit of a pain. I actually do float this here, and this is kind of a cute thing. You don't really necessarily need to do that. You know, I want to take my expansion as soon as possible because I know back at home he's just droning. See, he's making 4 drones. But yeah, if I can get this down as soon as possible, that's really ideal. You know, they could have a ling or a few lings down here. You know, I actually just dropped the auto turret here. I mean, it's not totally necessary, but you know, if they did have lings here, like trying to deny like meals, the auto turret would kind of clean that up. You know, later on, then I could just move my tank here and then defend both expansions. So it's pretty safe to do it, at least on this map. Yeah, so right here I'm just going 3 command center, tank, getting the Raven to clear to creep, and then just, you know, go into normal play. 3 barracks and, you know, get your upgrades going and stuff. And as you can see, I actually kind of broke out like pretty fast, so I'm actually ahead in the harvester count. So that's really nice. And as you can see, the auto turrets, you know, defending against these ling run-bys, so that's nice. You know, say if it was on a different map like Daybreak where you couldn't really drop the turret at the third real quick, then, you know, it's still fine to keep your command center. Just make sure that you're not dropping all your mules in the main, because if you do that, then you're just gonna run dry really quick. But as you can see, I actually came out ahead from that trade, so because he hatch block and he like invested so much into it, I'm ahead in harvester counts, so I'm actually in really good shape right now. So, and yeah, from here I just play kind of a macro game and get my upgrades going. 5 barracks, widow mines, medevacs, and then yeah, and then I just kind of win like a few minutes later just because I am ahead economically. So as you can see, it does take a while to clear out that creep, but since I was able to save the mules, I'm in good shape. Yeah, I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. It's pretty straightforward. I just kind of do a stim timing attack once my first 2 medevacs pop out. And his economy is pretty weak, so he can't really, you know, he really can't punish me or even hold off this attack. So this is actually pretty easy to hold. You know, there's a lot of follow-ups that the Zerg can do to you. It's not just this. They can go for a third and just, you know, drone up. They can go for 2 hatch muta, but regardless, you should have enough units to hold off no matter what they do. So we'll just go into another replay. Just kind of show you some other things that Zergs can do, and like with this build, I think I've never actually like came out behind. Like I've looked at all the replays, and I've never actually been behind on harvester count, just because I still get that quick third command center and breakout. At the very worst possibility is you come out even, and then you just go into a normal macro game. And that just depends on how much they invest into like spine crawlers and zerglings early on. If they just pure drone, then you probably just come out even. Alright, let me try this one. It's pretty much going to be the same thing. So I'll just speed it up until we get to the action. Yeah. You know, this really isn't a problem if you build on the low ground, the command center. But the thing is, you know, that's risky against like pull first or like one base builds. So, you know, if you really want to be safe, I would build it always on the high ground. And you know, if they happen to go for this, then I would definitely recommend this build. So yeah, we're playing against new skills. So he goes 3 hatch. No spawning pool yet. Should be going down soon. Yeah. So we actually do scout this a lot earlier because, yeah, so we get the bunker right up to the hatchery, and that's very important. You'll see this game that since my bunker is so close, I can actually snipe the first tumor, and that's really important. That's pretty much all the bunker's for. You know, to be honest, you're never gonna kill this hatchery because they'll be able to get enough zerglings out to hold us off, so it's not the biggest deal. Yeah, just kind of pop out, poke in. You know. Yeah, he actually should have canceled that, but so that was a small mistake by him. But as you can see, that's really important, sniping that tumor, and that really slows it down. It slows it down for 25 seconds, so it can make the world of difference. So yeah, back in my base, just a factory going up to a tank, and then we're gonna go for the Raven again. I think this one he actually drones a little harder behind it, so it's pretty smart. We should be going for a 3rd command center. It's 1 Raven, and then swap the starport on. We're gonna go for that Raven. This is just a breakout. So as you can see, he really didn't invest too much into it. He's just droning back at home. I think he takes a quick 3rd this game as well. And yeah, you always want to just break out as soon as possible. So, and the Raven, and going for Reactor Hellion. I actually did kind of burn 1 scan just because I'm not sure if I got the Raven out, but I really just wanted to get this creep out as soon as possible. Yeah, just go for the 3rd. You know, like from here you can do pretty much any follow-up you want to. Like I've seen people go mech off of this. You know, it's pretty much just Hellion Banshee. You can just add 3 more barracks. You can add, you know, like an armory. You know, it's up to you. It's pretty much just the tank into Raven. I feel like this is the best way to play against this if you don't like scout ahead of time and make like a bunch of barracks early on. I talked to QXC and he says if he sees this, he tries to cancel his gas and then go 3 barracks. But you know, sometimes like you can't really scout it that quick. Like on Acalon, it's a little bit out of the way to scout that. So yeah, from here it's just it's a standard macro game. If you look at the harvester count, I'm actually ahead, and I got my 3rd up. I probably should have been a little less aggressive with these Hellions because he did do a run by, so I do kind of fall behind a little bit. But you know, that was just a mistake of mine. For the most part, it's just a pretty standard macro game. And yeah, I'm just going for 1-1, and then yeah, he's just going for muteless. So yeah, basically the tanks are just to clear the creep, or clear the spines, and then the Ravens to clear the creep. And then you still want to go for that 3rd command center. And then from there you can just follow up from whatever you want. But I'm definitely under the school of thought that I don't think that this is like a super hard counter to command center first on the high ground. I think it's a very strong like counter to the command center first on the high ground, but it's not like it's an automatic win or a huge advantage for the Zerg. I feel like if you do this, you can come out even or ahead depending on how much they commit to it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll just leave this game. It pretty much just ends in the first like push that I do. So yeah, this is just a short tutorial for today. If you guys enjoyed it, just I guess I'm gonna post this on YouTube. So hit the like button, maybe subscribe, and then hopefully I'll come out come up with some more tutorials for you.